Our first announcement, I think, would be most appropriate for either Mac or Cindy to speak to, because we did get your notice. Well, we got the state's notice on this. And Mac, you are a part of the Restoration and Enhancement Task Force. Can you tell us about this meeting on Thursday, the specifics of it, so that those of us on the line that would like to attend can? Are we able to get Mr. Wade?
Okay. Can you hear me, Monica?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. We do have the task force meeting coming up this Thursday. This is supposed to be the last meeting. This will be the 6th meeting they've had. It will be here at the EOC. Right now, it's still scheduled. It's still on to be in the EOC this coming Thursday at 9 a.m. CPRA is basically leading the charge on this, and there's about 22 members on the governor's task force. About 17 members are from the public, the surrounding Basin area, which Morgan City's part of that, and then there's about 5 different federal agencies. Supposedly, they'll try to maybe be some consensus on what we're planning on submitting to the governor. I still think there's a lot of details to be worked out because it's been so broad arrangements, but we're trying to, I mean, there's been a lot of ideas from all over the basin. But the main charge is trying to see how they can get more flow out of the basin, more sediment out of the basin. The main reason I wanted to be on the committee, I agree with that. The basin is filling up. The water's not flowing, sediment's not flowing, but to flow that material, it all has to flow through Morgan City. We have problems right now trying to get what we have today out of here, out to the Gulf. So the main thing I wanted to be the watchdog. Whatever they plan on doing, it has an effect on the Morgan City, the Berwick Harbor, that we just got to make sure they're not going to inundate us and make our problems even worse than what they are right now. So maybe some decisions on this coming Thursday, but anybody that the public is invited.
Very good. All right. So we plan to attend in some form or fashion, Mac, and we did enjoy the meeting that was held on May 4th. And we still think fondly of Morgan Crutcher, who led that meeting. So
yes.
Thank you for hosting it again, and we look forward to showing support for your work on the committee, and just showing a presence that we are extremely interested by our presence there on Thursday at the Port Building.
Thank you. Looking forward to seeing y'all.
Okay.
Miss Monica, Lee is here if you wanted to double back with him about the Wellness Center update.
Okay. Is Carrie on the line or?
Carrie is not on the line.
Okay.
Lee is just right there. I'm going to actually unmute Lee. And if you wanted to go to that.
I'm on that right now.
There you
Morning,
go, Lee.
Mayor Dragna. We apologize for any problems you had connecting with us today.
Yeah, I wasn't aware it was a Zoom call, so
I'll call you personally next time. I apologize.
Yeah. Can you see me or not? I can't. I can only see you.
I don't know that we can see, but we can hear.
Lee, we can see you. You just have to change your view option, but we're all here.
So what
Lee, you need to unmute yourself. Mayor Lee, sorry.
got it?
Yes, we can hear you.
So we had a meeting with some of the upper people at Ochsner's about this wellness. We walked around the site that we believe should be the area for it, but we're open to any options. We've also had meetings with Thibodeau Regional about this same thing. And the city's grant writer is in touch with the Ochsner personnel about seeing where the funding is going to be at for our portion of funding for this project. I see it being a public-private partnership, some way, somehow. To the city's side of it, we basically are looking at as wellness with recreation. We're not 100% sure where they all stand with their side of it yet. So like I said, we had a meeting. There was about 12 people or so in that meeting with Oshners, and it seemed to have went very well. Let's put it that way. Other than that, I don't really have any other updates on the wellness.
Okay. I would go ahead and, was there anything, Mayor, earlier that you wanted to speak to? One of the things that Margaret is doing is she's recording this meeting. But I know, I think you got word yesterday of a bike grant, and Catherine was able to explain how the grant was written. But just to hear like how excited you are about moving some of the Bike Morgan City forward.
So what I found about yesterday was a grant for a safety grant for, I think, $435,000, I believe it was, for crossings, safety crossings of streets. We after talking with Mr. Domingue with the DOT, we definitely have 3 other grants for bike trails that's been worked on. I thought by looking at emails that the coastal use permit was done, but there's one other department that hasn't commented yet. So basically waiting on that one comment. Everybody else had no comment. So that's a good thing, including the Corps engineers, the levee districts, and every other relevant one. There's one more, I think the Wildlife and Fisheries is the one that has to give a comment, and they're telling me they're just overwhelmed right now. So I'm hoping by the end of this week or next week, early next week, we should have that. We can get started on the bike trails themselves. But there's multiple grants that are out here. There's also one for bike trail to, excuse me, somebody tried to call. Am I still here?
Yes, we still hear you.
There's also one that was granted to the city for $350,000 to create a walkway, to start the walkway to Young Memorial. But it's a 3 or 4 phase project, and it's going to take years to get that much money. But it's kind of exciting to get started, and it's getting close to getting started. It's just, the government's just slow, I'm not saying our government in Morgan City is slow, but waiting on where it's coming from is slow. So as soon as we get these different grants in play, I mean, it's a lot of money. We owe well over $1 million in all these grants, so it's pretty exciting, especially give you credit and your group credit because y'all did all of it.
We all have to do our part, and we're just happy to do our part. But it takes great leadership, and the leaders are on the call right now, all across state and local leaders. We applaud what y'all do every day. So I guess we'll go back. Thank you, Mayor, for showing that excitement for the biking trails that I'm sure you're asked about quite often every day, and taking the helm of getting this public swimming back into our area that we've lost, and just getting all the entities together and finding the funding sources. It's a challenge to make everything fit, but you're taking that lead to make sure we return public swimming to the area. And however it comes out, recreation included or other facets, you've got the right people, it sounds like, that you're bringing together so that all those perspectives are being heard. Are there any comments or questions thus far that have come up from Mayor Dragna right now before we go into the last bit of announcements? Okay. All right. I think if Carrie was on the line, she'd remind us that they're refreshing their brand, and that some of us on this call may be called in, or we can call Carrie if we have any question to see how she's rebranding or refreshing, not rebranding, just refreshing the Cajun Coast Visitor and Convention Bureau's, appeal and marketing to get more visitors to the area. And then once again, the reminder that that LaNERR Town Hall is going to take when, Margaret? When do we have that window? Just that window is September. You want to remind everybody those dates?
Through the 18th.
September 6th through the 18th, a town hall will be held to.
And as soon as we get a date, you guys will be the first ones, you know, to be notified. And Kelly and I will be in the background, kind of guiding everybody to come up with what they need to say at the meeting, if given the chance.
So that looks like the town hall in September, and then from the timeline that I see, some decisions should be made before the end of the year. Is that correct? What you're seeing?
That's
Margaret?
what I'm seeing as well, unless I guess they have some hiccups on their end.
And it just has to be the Atchafalaya zone. It just has to be.
Mhm.
Has anybody else got an announcement? I see Catherine would like to be unmuted. We can't hear you yet.
Go ahead, Catherine.
Hey, I have a
There you
question. Somebody asking about the wellness center. Asking about what would happen to the swimming complex that we currently have, the swimming pool that's there. I don't know if if Mayor Dragna is still on the line.
Repeat that one more time.
What would happen to the swimming complex that we currently have? This is a question from somebody.
The swimming pool is unrepairable, to the extent of probably close to $500,000. And we don't even think we can get it completely fixed. It's too big. It's only one of two that's owned that size. And I think all Anna that's owned rec department, that size, it should be a half size pool. And that would be demolished, and the new swimming / rec area would be in the same place, basically. Plus the piece of land we own right in front of it next to Martin Luther King. So trying to keep everything in the complex area as where it's a one-stop shop basically for everything you want to do. You know, you have the auditorium, you have Cypress Park, you have the 2 baseball fields, you have the tennis courts. We'll put a pool and a gym right there, and, you know, basically keep it all in one spot.
All right. Any other question on wellness? Because I see Carrie is on the line with us, and we'd like to hear specifically to the refreshing of the brand.
Carrie, you're
Can you
unmuted.
guys,
There you go.
can you hear me?
Yep,
Yeah.
you're unmuted.
Yeah, hey, I apologize. I was supposed to be with consultants today, but my life has been kind of cuckoo. Drake and I went on vacation, and then my mother passed away, so I'm just kind of in la la land right now.
Sorry. Carrie.
Condolences.
Thank you. So I have been speaking with Chandler Thinks for a very long time. They worked on a project for Lafourche Parish, and they work a lot with small convention and visitors bureaus. And I'm just really impressed with some of the things that they've done in the past. You know, the timing was never right. And so anyway, we've hired them, and we've hired another consultant that's going to come in afterwards. But Chandler Thinks we've postponed it to September. And I spoke to Greg yesterday, and it's a long process. What they'll do is they'll come in, they're going to do a fam tour on the first day that they're here. We're going to go, we'll do, so the first day they're here, we'll meet with, we'll briefly go over Morgan City Berwick, and then we'll have, they'll meet the board, and then they'll do a focus group. And then that night, we'll do some things in St. Mary Parish. The next day, we'll go to Franklin and do Patterson and Franklin. And then a focus group. And then that night, we'll do a town hall meeting. And then the next day, we'll do Baldwin, Sharrington area. and do another focus group. After that, they will also do a survey to people who visited in the past and people who have requested information from us. I think the timing is right. Unfortunately, with the I was hoping we wouldn't have this Delta variant. We are going to make every opportunity to do everything safely. We've talked briefly about, we were supposed to do one-on-one one-on-one interviews. They're going to do those by Zoom. So all of you I think are on the list for one-on-one. Some of y'all are part of the focus group, because I do need some strong voices on the focus groups, but also I think all of you that I've seen are going to be on the one-on-one, and they will call individually and do those. As far as the town hall meeting, we'll do that until the parish president or the governor says we can't meet, but we'll try to do that in a safe manner, as well as the focus groups. We'll set those people 6 feet apart. We'll require everybody to wear masks, etc. But I think it's important that we do it now and start planning for the future. Things are going to change. Oil and gas is who knows where that's going to happen. I fathom to think about how if we have a hurricane and we're all on electric power, how in the world is that going to work? What are opportunities for us? What can we do more for tourism? And so we're really excited about that process. Once Steve does his thing, there's another consultant that we've hired that's an international guy. And they will come in and they're going to do some strategic planning. So they're going to take everything that Steve and his team do, and then they're going to do a strategic plan for the future and some product development. They may see things that we don't necessarily see, or help us package things that we're currently doing. We have a lot of good things going on right now. Before COVID, before the second round, we were getting back to our numbers in the visitor center, and that was really great to see. We've had a very much a slowdown since then. So lots of good things. We also received a grant from the Atchafalaya National Heritage Area to do some interpretive panels here. Hopefully, we'll get those done. We also received some money for Eagle Expo, hopefully for that. I know Shepherd Petroleum Festival got some funds to help with some bands. I know that Berwick and you all got some money for the bicycle trail. Berwick got some funds.
Subdivisions.
So anyway, I'm trying to think what else is going on. So, we're just trying to plug along with what we have. And like I said, I think the timing, it's terrible, but it's also something that we've got to get done. So hopefully, once everybody gets vaccinated, that can be vaccinated, that we can move on and start traveling, and we'll have all this, new product or our new design, our new creative to promote St. Mary Parish.
Good.
Carrie, can I ask a question? You spoke about a town hall meeting. Do you know, is that in August? I may have missed those dates.
It's going to be, they're coming in they're coming in August 31st. So I think the town hall meeting will be September. I got my calendar right here. It's going to be September 2nd, and it'll be in the evening, I think like 6 o'clock.
Okay, great. Just with us having the town hall for the LaNERR, I would, if we had to be able to pick a date, I don't want that to overlap yours. Ours is either going to be between September 16th and 18th. So somewhere in there.
Perfect.
They'll let us know.
6th and 18th. 6th and 18th.
6th and 18th. Yeah.
Yeah, please, if you think about it, for our consultants, please let them know about that.
Okay.
I know I've included it, but I have to think so much from, Amelia to Jeanette that sometimes, I'll be like, oh, I forgot to tell you about this. Oh, I forgot to tell you about this. Because I've had to give them so much data. I mean, last year was a bust. So we don't have a whole lot of information from last year. And so, we're having to go back 3 years to get, reports and data on everything. And so it's a whole interesting process. It's not easy. I love it and hate it at the same time, because of everything that it's so much work to get done. But, I think the end result will be worth it.
Okay. All right. Any questions or comments that have come in? Let's see. Let me just, nothing that Catherine, you've got something?
Yep. Go ahead.
And I have one question. The Atchafalaya Basin meeting, will it be on Zoom too? Zipper actually usually puts those on the internet too, right?
Mac, I think they are, the Atchafalaya Basin meeting, isn't it always on Facebook Live?
It's on Facebook. I don't know if they'll do Zoom, but yeah, I'm sure it'll be on Facebook.
And Carrie, as I hear you kind of thinking, please let your group know that we will find out probably November if we do, the Atchafalaya zone is named, and since the entire parish is part of that Atchafalaya zone, it's going to be really important, because as they refresh the brand and start the marketing, that would be, just a dovetail almost to capitalize on the sharing of that good information. So they should be aware of that, because we wouldn't want to get everything settled and all of a sudden find out we're LaNERR and then have to go backtrack a little bit. So it would be really good to get the time that information to the Chandler group so that they will understand the timeline that LaNERR will be announced.
Right. So in November of this year, they're going to announce it?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
Carrie,
this is the last step. This is the last thing. When they have this public meeting and we make the showing, Margaret, you want to elaborate on that?
Well, that's what I was gonna, we spoke about at the beginning, and Kelly and I are gonna get in touch with you, Carrie, because we did come up with some subgroups that need to be represented at these town hall meetings, and whether it's you or someone from tourism, I mean, obviously that needs to be represented. So whether you speak or write a letter or just are there for if there's questions presented to the audience. So we'll get with you. You're on our list. Sorry, you don't get to escape it.
No. And also I'm very good friends with Justin, and he's on that committee. I don't know if he's a voting member, but
Okay, great.
And it's good that we've had this meeting, so now we understand that the refreshing of the brand should be coordinated with our finding out whether we have the LaNERR, because that will totally impact how that brand is refreshed.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Are there any other announcements from anybody on the line okay. Catherine coming back?
Myself. Now okay.
Start.
Am I
Go
here
ahead.
now? All right.
Yes.
Quick announcement. It has nothing to do with any of this, but St. Mary has excelled in the Olympics. We have a student from Morgan City High School, public high student, who is taking home a bronze medal in the mixed 4x400 relay, Vernon Norwood. He is also bringing home a gold medal. So we are very proud of him. He graduated from Morgan City High School a few years ago, graduated from LSU, and he is going on to represent us. He will be coming home with those medals. I don't know if Mayor Dragna is on the line, but I know that we're going to do what we can to recognize him and be excited, because that's a big deal. It really is. We're so proud of him. He's such a great guy. He really is. Okay, that was mine.
That was a great announcement.
Ms.
And I'm
Monica,
sure-
I just wanted to kind of say, just because it's right around the corner, I did upload on the chat group, the ambassador list idea subgroups. So if everybody could just kind of download it and brainstorm over the next couple of days of whether you'd like to be a part of it or know someone that needs to be a part of it. This is something that's going to need to go into effect pretty soon. I wish we had better updates from the site committee so that we could plan months and months, but it's just kind of, we're at their mercy. So we want to do what we can to get that group together and be well represented.
Okay.
Hey, Margaret, did
Yes.
y'all, this is very random. I know all of that information is public for other estuary programs that that NOAA has selected.
Mhm.
I mean, is there anything in particular? I don't know if anybody's just kind of Googled to see any final reports on why another place was selected or not. I know it's a lot of work, so I didn't know if anybody had done that.
I think Ms. Monica, you can kind of interject with this, but in over the months of looking at this, I don't think anything has necessarily the same exact reason why one was chosen.
I gotcha.
You know, what's the tipping point?
Right.
That's why
right.
this ambassador group is so important, because we want to just be represented in all aspects of the area.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so at this time, I would just ask, are there any other announcements or comments that anyone would like to make before we close out the meeting? And with our promise that early December or mid-January is about when we will meet this local interest group again.
I'd like to mention something if I could.
Sure.
Hello.
Hello, Mayor Duval.
Yeah, this is for Margaret. The legacy speakers you're referring to, you know, we're losing a lot of them every day.
Right.
And I would be the possibility of videotaping like a conversation with somebody like Butch Feltman, who's a pioneer in the lumber, shrimping and petroleum, and just a wealth of information, and been around here for so long. And Sterling Freyu, a guy in Amelia, commercial fisherman, has been doing it all of his life and very familiar with the area and watching the river and as it flows. And people like that, if we could, would that be permissible?
Absolutely. There's no one that's, you know, I don't think anybody can be unaccounted for. The legacy, you know, Kelly and I mean, I take my dad, for instance, you know, born and raised, he could,
That's right.
You know, but he's not going to go to the meeting, but we even spoke about like getting her dad from the business aspects of the area, and my dad, born and raised, writing a letter and having it at least presented to him. Maybe it's not spoken about at that meeting, but it's a file that maybe they can take home with. So no one's out of the question. I'm going to write those names down, and, you know, whether it's a video, you know, we have Danica, well, she's not fully anymore. She's long now, but, you know, maybe we even get her to help out with these interviews. She's great at interviewing, just to see a different question, you know, Q&A from someone else.
Well, one other name I wanted to give you was Charlie Savoy.
Okay.
And
Oh,
Charlie
yeah.
used to be the mayor in Berwick, but then he was a port director, was a parish CAO. So he got an extensive background, but more importantly, he's been just a fisherman and a hunter all of his life right here.
Right.
And so he's very familiar with our area and watching it do what it's done.
Good names. Thank you, Mayor. That was very helpful. Anyone else? Catherine, you wanted to say something before we close?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Lee Abear sent a message to remember that, just to announce that we did receive some grants that she wrote for to get those heavy duty those garbage cans that were supplied. So she was able to put those 5 garbage cans at the Greyhound bus stop, the auditorium, softball park, basketball park, under the bridge, and the AARP building. So that was just something that was done. And she's on the call, but she can't speak right now. So thank you, Aletha Abear.
Yes. Every bit contributes to a great community every bit. Anything else? Once again, we thank you for taking the time to join us today, and we apologize for any technical difficulties that you had getting on. And hopefully this meeting will be in person in January and we won't have this challenge. So once again, thank you. And we look forward to seeing you late this year, early next year. Thank you.